Well, I've worked in sports engineering for about the last 30 years, since about 1985. I look at technologies, I look at the use of technologies to improve performance. And that performance could be anybody from a weekend warrior like myself, trying to get a little bit faster on a Saturday morning, through to professional athletes, through to elite athletes like our Olympic athletes. When I started out, it was about materials in sport. In the early 2000s, it was about smartphones and sensors which were starting to appear. The latest evolution that I've seen is that we're now talking about physical activity as a whole rather than sport specifically. So sport is still there, but it's just part of physical activity. Now, the reason for that is because when I started out in the 1980s, obesity was just a distant problem. It didn't exist. It was not something we talked about. But now we have this problem of physical inactivity across Europe. And what sports engineering has the chance to do is take the technologies we've developed over the last 30 or so years and just translate them into things for the everyday person, for my mother, for my grandmother, for my kids, not just the elite athletes and not just the professional athletes. So I started doing this 25, 30 years ago, but boy, are you moving fast. Okay, you are moving so fast. And there's something about being a close-knit, small country. I can't quite put my finger on why, but I come to events like this today and the buzz is amazing, the enthusiasm is amazing. And actually you've latched on to these new technologies and you're taking all these things you know in all these other sectors and you're applying them to sport really, really quickly. So you're catching up really, really fast. And I see that in the next 5 years, the Netherlands will be a dominant player in this area. So what I see happening in the Netherlands, I see you setting up these conferences, and it's that first bit to find out who is doing what and who is interested in doing something. So that's where you are at this moment in time. The next step is, can we get some funding? Now we know what we're good at, can we get some funding to make more of that? So this next step will be the key. Can we get some funding in just to start some things? Because once you start some things, the quality will start to shine through, and that quality will keep that whole thing going. And I think the Netherlands, if it invests right, could do really, really well on the global stage.